Today I'll be reviewing 10 SEZANE coats for you. Some of these I own, others I have just tried on in the New York City store or have reviewed previously, and 2 of them I actually ordered specifically for this video. I do have so many reviews on coats, but they're kind of scattered, very sparse in all my videos, so I thought it would be nice to just do one video about coats. If you don't have a store nearby, I hope this video is helpful and you can determine your size, how they fit, how they look like in real life, and of course if they're worth the price tag. So don't forget to give the thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if this is helpful. The first coat I'll show you is Mederick. It's the one that I have for the longest time, and I love this coat. I have the vintage blue color, and to me I consider that a neutral because it has kind of a grayish undertone. Does feel quite neutral to me. Love this vintage blue color. Hopefully it will be in the archives this year. I'm not sure if these go on sale during the archives, but if they do, I think it's a great piece to hunt down. And I got mine in size 34, so I went a size down for that, but you can get your usual size if you like it more oversized. I just prefer to go with the 34 because I was afraid it would be too long if I got the 36, which is my normal size, and I'm happy with it. I love the details. You can see it has this on the cuffs, and it also has a removable belt, and you can see it's quite long. So if you're petite, I would say that might be a little too long for you, but it's also a matter of preference. I think if you're 5'2" and shorter, you can still make it work. I know that some people just prefer long coats, and honestly I think it looks cute on anyone. I just love long coats. I think they are nicer than shorter ones, but I do have some short ones for sure. I'll show you them. But yes, Mederick has kind of a robe style, and I want you to keep that in mind. It's not a very structured coat, even though the wool feels nice and thick. Really nice for winter. I do think this is definitely wearable during winter. Obviously not in the coldest days, but if you wear a thermal underneath and a cashmere sweater with the right accessories, you can easily wear this when it's in the 30s. I'm talking about Fahrenheit, or around 0 for Celsius. So I love the coat. I think it's a great investment piece. It's the kind of piece that you will wear over and over. At least for me, that's how it works. I always consider the price tag when I'm buying something, but I also have to think about how much I'm going to wear. If it's something you will wear the whole season, or if you're going to wear year after year, I think long term you're actually saving money. So I love Mederick and highly recommend. The next coat is Rick, which is very similar. It's actually identical to it, but it's shorter. I tried when I went to the New York City store, and I really liked it. The quality is great. It's the same fit, it's the same fabric, it's everything identical except for the length. So I would say this is more petite friendly, but if you're tall and you like shorter coats, you could easily wear this. I think coats look beautiful and the same length of your mini skirt or dress or shorts. So if you're very tall and you still want to wear that, I think it's absolutely wearable. For me, it kind of hit in a weird length. It was around my knees, and I didn't really like that. But if you are shorter, I have all my measurements down below as well as the links for these. I think it's a fantastic coat. The next one is Tom coat. I've been trying to order this for a while now, and I am so in love with this. I can't say enough. I did not plan to keep this coat, and I was trying to understand why it was so expensive and why it was sold out all the time. But now I understand. It's a heavy coat. It feels really nice. It's very high-end, very thick, much thicker than Mederick, especially these parts. When you check the amount of wool that is in here, even though it's not 100% wool, it's 70% wool. It's still a really good amount of wool, and that's something you should always look for. If you are investing in a good coat, the more wool it has, the warmer it's going to feel. So I love 100% wool coats. They're more expensive. If you're on a budget or if you cannot afford, I would say go with thrifting or pre-loved, because you can find these for a really good price. I'm not talking about the SEZANE specific ones, but the wool coats. I think it's always better to have a higher percentage of wool instead of more polyester or any other materials like polyamide or anything. This one feels really nice, looks absolutely beautiful. You can see it's more structured than Mederick, and it's more boxy for sure. but I love it. I think it's just so elegant, especially in this color. It's kind of a grayish, it's like in between beige and gray. And to me, it's such a chic color. This will go with pretty much everything. I can't think of one color that's not gonna look nice with that. I am in love. I did size down for this. I'm wearing the size 34 or 2 US, and to me it's actually great. I probably could have gone with my usual size, but I feel like might have been a little too bulky. So I'm happy with this one. Again, I was not planning to keep, but I'm just so in love. And it has the raglan sleeves, which to me is really flattering. It doesn't have the stitching around the shoulder. And it has 4 huge pockets. I love pockets, especially during winter. It's really hard sometimes to have the scarf and the bag and so much going on. So having big pockets is really handy. This one retails for over $500 in the US, so it's a very pricey coat, but for what it is, to me at least, it's worth it. I think it's a beautiful neutral piece that will go with so much of your wardrobe, my wardrobe. So definitely one piece, you know, that is an investment, but to me worth the money. I also ordered the gym coat, which I was very interested in seeing. I have tried this before in a beautiful print a while ago actually, but I didn't keep it, and I was very curious to see. So this gray color is pretty, very pretty. It's more of a cool gray, like kind of a light gray, and this one feels very flimsy compared to the others. So if you are in a mild climate, that might be the coat for you. I think for me here in New York City, that would not be great, especially for winter. This is definitely thinner. I can't even compare those two. So that's not for me. I'm not keeping this one, and I also feel like I got the wrong size. SEZANE does say that you should size down for it, and I went a size down, but to me it's too small. I honestly would just keep your usual size unless you want something more fitted. But in my opinion, this is not the kind of coat that should be fitted. It doesn't have a belt, it's just the buttons in the front. I love how minimalist it is. It doesn't have any details around the cuffs or anything, and it retails for over $400. So if I'm going to pay around $400, $500, I would go with more wool. I would go with Mederick or with the Tom coat. To me at least, it feels more high-end and more like worth the money. This one is lined, as you can see. It's nice because it's easy to put on and off. And the material is 75% wool, 21% polyamide, 2% acrylic, 1% polyester, and 1% viscose. I don't know what this 1% is because you can't really tell. This is what it looks like. So hopefully from the mod shots you will see how it looks on me, and you will have an idea on what's gonna look like on you. Now the next one is the Paolo coat. I have the Paulin, which is a very similar version. I'm gonna show you. The Paulin is basically identical. It really doesn't have anything different except for the button right here and a couple of buttons more than the Paolo. I did try, I did see, and I did touch when I went to the store, and it's really identical. I got this one actually from eBay, I believe, a while ago, and I've worn this so much. I thought at first it would get dirty very easily because I'm in New York and it does get very dirty. But it actually surprised me because I probably wore this over 20 times and it still looks great. This one feels, it's wool too, it's 60% wool I believe, and it feels really nice. It is rough when you touch, but it's not going to be too scratchy. It doesn't feel scratchy actually, it feels nice and soft, and I love the weight of it. It doesn't feel like too much, but also doesn't feel too flimsy. So has the lining inside, which is great to put on and off. It doesn't get stuck with your clothes because sometimes it's annoying to have the coat stuck, especially me. I go to my piano lessons and I have to take off and put it back, and then I go to my next one, and this cycle keeps on going. So I really appreciate that, and I just love it. I think it's such a nice, you know, feel, and it just looks so pretty. They have this now in so many prints, and I love it. I kind of wish I had gone with the 36, not gonna lie, because I do like my coats to be a little more oversized, but I'm happy with this one. I found for a really good price, so I grabbed it, and I'm really happy with this one. Now, kind of similar to this one, we have Leo coat, and this is one of my favorite SEZANE coats. They have it now in a beautiful pink, and they have in black. This is the sage color from last year. If I'm not wrong, I got this one from eBay too. for a much better price actually, but I would have paid the full price because I love this coat and I've worn it so much. It's definitely on the boxy side. It doesn't feel fitted or anything like this. It's just that big grandpa coat that you put on and you go. So obviously, depending on how you pair, this can look a little more feminine, but it's just a chunky big coat, you know, that's very functional. I love the pockets. Leo actually has 4 pockets. It has this big one here, which you can fit your whole house inside. It's just so big. And it has also on the side like this Italian pockets. So I really like that because in the winter it helps. It really helps. This is quite warm. I wouldn't say it's a winter coat, at least not in New York. I definitely need my down coat when it comes to the actual cold. But if you're in a mild climate or if you want this for fall, spring, I think it's a great coat. In my opinion, it can be worn in the winter, but again, it depends on where you are and how you're pairing. I think having a thermal underneath as well as a cashmere sweater is always really helpful when wearing your coat. So definitely be mindful. I love the feel. This one's 100% virgin wool, so it does feel a little rough and a little scratchy. But this doesn't really go on your skin, so I wouldn't be concerned because it has the lining, and obviously you're gonna be wearing something very nice and warm underneath. So I have this in 2 colors. This is the sage, and this one I got during the archives, which was a really good price. I think it was like 30% off or 40% off. You can see this one is definitely different, the texture. It has a little bit of a hairy texture, which is so cute. I really love it. The color is so great. So this one I got during the archives and it was a really good price. I'm really happy with this. I've worn so much, especially when I'm wearing these pants. These are Matthew pants. They are green as well, and I like the tonal outfit or like a monochromatic. I think it looks really polished and just beautiful. Love this. Have worn a lot. Now the next one is the Marc Coat. I don't have it with me, but they do have it online at the moment. They have in pink, and I've tried the green one from last year. That coat was beautiful. In my opinion, it was a little bit too pricey. I didn't feel like paying almost $500 on that coat specifically. I thought the Mederick would make more sense because it's more classic, the material is better, it is easier to pair with my wardrobe, at least that's how I feel. And it's definitely more on the higher end, I'm talking about Mederick, than Marc. But if you live in a place that has a nicer weather and it doesn't get too cold, I think the Marc Coat is beautiful. I tried that in size 36 or 4, which is my usual size, and it fits perfectly. I wish I could find that with a little discount. Maybe it will be in the archives this year and I might get it because it's just really beautiful. I really like the fit. I remember that I was so in love with the lapel and I just really wanted to keep it, but I couldn't justify the price. So in Europe it is a lot cheaper, and here in the US, in Canada too. I'm sorry, my Canadian friends, I know prices are so much higher for you, and I feel you because it's quite high over here too. So Marc Coat is really beautiful. I thought it would be nice to do a review because I get questions all the time about it and I wanted to make sure that I would share that. The next one that I'll share briefly is the Johnson coat. I tried that once when I went to the store. It's not my cup of tea. I don't really love structured coats. I think Tone Coat was probably the only coat that I tried that structured that I really loved right away. But the Johnson is nice. I think it's more of a kind of a classic style, and you can easily wear this like for work or something, you know, that's not too casual. Just very put together. But I prefer casual slouchy coats. It's really a matter of preference. I remember touching the coat and it felt really nice. It felt structured. It felt comfortable and easy to put on and off. So I think it's a great coat. It's just not my cup of tea, but I still wanted to share in case you're wondering what it looks like in real life. The next one is a lot thinner. It's a lot more lightweight. It's the Clyde trench, and I decided to add this here because I'm hoping that SEZANE will either bring this back or bring something similar to it. I did not like it at first when I saw online, and when I saw this in the store and I tried on, I was just so in love with the coat. It felt amazing. It just had this nice heavy kind of fabric. It's cotton, but it just felt so high-end when I put on, and I loved the fit. I think it's such a beautiful kind of Parisian style, and you can see inside that it has this beautiful print. Kind of reminds me of Burberry, but Burberry coats are just extremely expensive. I wish this was reversible, but I don't believe you can reverse. And you can leave it like this around the wrist, the sleeves, and it looks so pretty. So a nice heavy cotton, and the color is really great. I love this tan color. Right now here it doesn't look great because of my lighting, but you can see on the mod shots that it's really beautiful. I'm so happy with this one. Love the fact it doesn't have a belt. This is so different from most trench coats that we see out there. So I think that was one of the reasons that I loved the most. It just felt beautiful, this trapeze kind of cut, and it's pretty long for trench coats because I like to wear them when it's a little cold, or when it's, you know, starting to rain or something. I love trench coats when it's raining. I think the length is just perfect, at least for me. If you are on the petite side, I would say that can be a little long, but again, so many people love wearing super long coats, and to me it doesn't feel unflattering. I think it's really pretty. It elongates your style. It doesn't really make you shorter. Some people say it makes you shorter. It really depends on the style and the cut, so definitely keep that in mind. And the last one is the Scotch trench. I don't own this one, but I did try in the New York City store maybe 2 years ago. The reason I didn't buy is because I have a very similar one from Mango, and it just didn't make sense to get both. But I keep thinking about it because I feel like the SEZANE one has a much better quality. I love how the cotton felt. It was much heavier than I thought, and it was quite big. I think this is the size 36 or 4, and that's my usual size, but it did feel quite roomy. So if you are planning to wear just with a shirt underneath, I think you can definitely size down. Otherwise, if you're planning to wear with a knit, I think get your usual size. This way you will have enough room to wear that underneath. Felt like a really good cotton. I love the khaki color. To me, that's even prettier than the tan, but again, it's a matter of preference. So these were the coats that I wanted to review for you. If that was helpful, please give the thumbs up, leave a comment, and consider subscribing to my channel. It helps me so much. If you're planning to buy any of these, I would appreciate if you use my links, because you will be supporting my channel a lot. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye bye.